Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today is the third time trial challenge for the Ace Academy MotoGP 24 Championship. I think I've discussed it before and I've explained the purpose of these time trial challenges, so I'll probably not say it again in this video today. So if you want to check out more about the Ace Academy Championships and what the time trials will entail, head over to the Discord server and check it out in there. But today, round 3, the final time trial challenge, it is going to be here in Laguna Seca and we're using the Repsol Honda RC213V. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give as many lap times as I can to get a good solid lap time here in Laguna, and let's see what happens. So as we've done with the other challenges, I'm starting from the pit, building up the confidence, warming up the tyres, and then we'll really start to churn out those lap times. Now, just remembered, I have not changed my rear brake disc. This is something I've been preaching now in Moto 2 and in a couple of videos already as well, that I do much prefer the smaller rear brake disc, but I'm not going to change it. We're going to leave it as is because I've already forgotten and it's too late now and we're already starting. So let's crack on and see what we can do around Laguna Seca. So, couple of points to mention, of course. The circuit is quite a difficult track. I mean, there's a couple of points of the circuit which is actually really easy and very enjoyable, and then there's some that you kind of panic as you get towards. These final sectors I find here in Laguna are certainly my weakest point. I can never say particularly consistent from the penultimate corner all the way to the final corner here for turn 11. It's just something I can never seem to really navigate correctly, guaranteed every single time. So the first flying lap has concluded. Now it is time for said time trial here in Laguna Seca. Now I know a lot of you guys are not a fan of the Repsol Honda, or albeit any of the Hondas, for as long as it's an RC213V. A lot of the guys don't particularly care for it, but this is the point of having a bike like this in a challenge, because it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy just to pick up your favourite Ducati and win by a country mile. No, we need to be really getting to the nitty-gritty of MotoGP and to really try improving on some of our least preferred motorcycles, because don't forget, if you don't qualify high enough and you end up only being able to choose the Honda, then you've got to make it do. I know some players would rather quit than to actually participate, and for those ones, don't bother. You might as well not even attend the actual sessions. But if those who actually really want to stay and play and they don't care what bike you're going to get, then I say take the challenge with the Honda and give it a good bash. And myself and Charlie, we discussed before this championship began, or is beginning, before we even discussed the premise of the championship, that if we were in a cup together, we would choose the Repsol Hondas, because it is by far one of the best looking liveries in the game. It's one of the best looking bikes in the game as well. So it would be great to take a motorcycle that doesn't receive much love and to give it some credit and some chance for some podium success and possibly even victory as well. Now, I think victory for a lot of players in this season's championship is going to be difficult. We have got some major powerhouses that have been putting in time trial challenge lap times, from Sacred Meerkat to Jake. Heyday seems to be quite up there as well, and there's a couple of names in there too which I have just skipped across because I don't think I'm going to read the entire lineup of the MotoGP Championship just yet. They'll then have to choose which motorcycle they want. I think I know which one or two of them are going to choose, but then the others I'm hoping for a surprise or two. I would really like to see the Honda get selected by one of the best riders in the teams and just to go for it with this bike. It'd just be great to see, it really would. Any of the factory bikes I think are good choices. The Honda and Yamaha aren't so much the best choices. Although the Yamaha feels quite nice, I think the turning is where it lets itself down, and as I've said before, that's a bizarre thing to say when you're talking about the motorcycle which has a history of being one of the most easiest motorcycles to use and to ride, and turning was always its predominant point. It was always its strongest point, so it's mad that we're even discussing that here in 2024. But let's start talking about the actual time trial then. 2 laps in so far, including, well, not including the warm-up lap. And I must confess, I'm a little bit disappointed by my lap times there. I'm surprised to be in the 119s. I thought 118s would roughly be where I would be situating myself in for the majority of this video. So I think I've got a bit of practice to do, but that's the purpose of doing this video here today. So also myself, I'm going to put some practice in. I won't be racing in these championships, but it's always nice to just compare yourselves with some of the fastest aces within the Discord server and of course the Ace Academy in general. Good entry into the corkscrew that time around. That was much better, a little bit too tight to the apex, looking like Valentino Rossi passing Casey Stoner circa 2008. Out of the rainy curve, we have found time, and it does look like lap 3, whereas the tyres are at their optimum, is paying off. Into the final corner, the victory corner, turn 11. Didn't get on the power early enough there. We're actually going to lose time. Cross the line, 0.7 of a second found. That is a 1:18.7. So I didn't need to panic after all. I did find myself back in to the 1:18s. Now, something I am expecting to do in this video here today is to probably abuse track limits. It is a difficult circuit to maintain the track limits. It's a very tight, narrow track. Going for overtakes, going for lunges, going a little bit deep into a corner does usually result in you getting some form of track limit warning. Now, I don't know where is going to be the biggest weakness. I would say probably here. On ride 5, this was a bit of a treacherous corner. This one right here into turn 6, touched the apex. In ride 5, it was a instant crash. Here in MotoGP, it does seem a lot more calm and careful. Whoa! Wow! We somehow braked sideways there with one tyre on the floor and one in the air. Well, that is not how you tackle the corkscrew. That was shocking. Just went a little bit too late on the brakes there and tried to capture that braking feel of the previous laps by then trying to reapply the brake too late and having the front completely lock. I'm surprised we didn't crash there, to be honest with you. Cross the line, it's another crap lap time, it's a 1:19.6. Not all that bad considering I did really muck it up into the corkscrew corner here in Laguna Seca. So, finding time here, 1/10 of a second into turn 3, not bad. Actually getting a little bit more aggressive on the brake now. Since I mentioned the track limit warning, what's happened? We've had a track limit warning straight out of turn 3. A little bit of a disappointment there because I pride myself in trying not to get track limit warnings. So now we're going to see a strike through lap number 5, and it's going to be there for the majority of this video, which is going to annoy me, so that is disappointing. But we mustn't lose any focus, we mustn't falter. Just keep on churning out the lap times and let it come to us. As I've mentioned many times before in guides and other videos as well, find the comfort level. Find that level where you feel comfortable and you can just churn out the lap times consistently. Once you've got to that point, then it's time to go that extra mile, start braking a bit later. Start maybe incorporating a bit more throttle. Maybe changing the gears up every now and again and just see what you can conjure up. And that's a damn shame that, because that lap time was an improvement. It was a 1:18.3 and we were off the circuit into turn 3. So that is time found. Out to the Andretti hairpin. Do find that upshifting into third helps quite a bit there. Tight apex for turn 3. This is the point where we went off the circuit. That Repsol Honda just wants to wheelie, doesn't it? The second you get the bike straight and use a little bit of power, bang, front wheels up in the air. I don't know what it's celebrating for, but it can't wait to stand up, can it? Fair play to the RC213B Honda as we go wide again. Just getting caught onto the curb there as we dive into the left-hander now for 6. Wow, you can really abuse that corner, can't you? You can really abuse that apex. Wait on the brakes. Keep it in, keep it in. I've done it again! Trying to push so much into the corkscrew. We somehow managed to get through. Now, I was going to mention earlier, as I say, I do find that braking more aggressively helps you out. Not in the term of initial acceleration, but under the trail braking. Sometimes I can go really aggressive on the brakes, and it pays off. I found the same as with Moto 3 and Moto 2 as well, that you can really hit the brakes hard during the trail braking. Prime examples here, look how hard we were pressing the brake. That puts us in a good spot there for the Andretti hairpin. Don't touch the curb. Run time by doing that. Tight again to the apex. Wait for the moment. Accelerate. Really trying to balance the front wheel from lifting up. Nice tight apex again there. You can see how much brake we're actually applying in the bottom right corner of your screen. The two red lines that fill up are my two braking apparatus or braking guides or whatever you would call them. As we now brake on the left hand side again, turning in. About 80% of brake use there. As we slammed on the anchors for turn 6. Now under the TSO sign, start braking there. And gradually turn in. This is going to be nice. This is going to be good. Gentle on the acceleration on the right. Yes! We found more time. This would put us almost into the 117s. I didn't think we'd be that close so quickly. But a 117 is beckoning us. Onto the brakes. Final corner. A little bit deep, but it's okay. Bring on the power. Upshift if you can. And hopefully this will be enough across the line. Oh, it won't be. It's a 118.088. Not a bad lap time. Now, I don't know where I compare against the rest of the aces, but I imagine they're probably up into the 116s. I imagine there will be a few. At the moment, I'm going to say I'd be happy with that. If I could get a 117, then I would say that is curtains. I would be very happy with the next increment a second. There's nothing that bugs me more than being that close to the next second and not being able to get it. Ooh, a bit deep there for turn 5. Is that going to cost me time? We're on a good string of laps here. 3 laps in a row have been low 118s. Granted, lap 5 was a mistake, of course, as we now just ever so slightly too far to the left then. Didn't even need to do that. I gained no advantage for doing that. Just, I overthought it, to be honest with you. I was tensing up ever so slightly. And that is not going to count. And of course it won't count now anyway, since we've got an invalid lap time to our name. But nonetheless, should still be pretty good. Well, I will confess, this Honda feels really good around Laguna Seca. I said this last time when I used the Honda. I think it was for the anti-wheelie video in Mandalika. And I actually quite enjoyed using that Honda towards the end of the video. It was really good. The brakes feel fantastic. The wheeling obviously is an issue. The spinning of the rear tyre is a problem as well, but ultimately, the braking is excellent. Really solid, and it seems now that I'm actually even getting harder on that brake. Pressing L2 that little bit stronger. And I'm still able to get the bike stopped without dropping the front. I'm quite enjoying this experience. This is a fun chance for me to push that little bit extra to get into the 117s. Thank goodness I have time trial back, of course. I did have it completely removed at one point because, yeah, the game would soft lock me every time I tried to get into the time trials. How tight to the apex do you want it? That was ridiculous. And if we hadn't to touch that curb on the inside of the corkscrew, we probably would have had a green delta. We have one now, but I've just ran it deep into the penultimate corner. So this is not going to be an improvement again. But this is going to be the 4th lap in a row, or excuse me, 5th lap in a row of being in those low 18s. Those are some good lap times. I'm quite happy with that. I honestly expected my lap times to be when I was pushing around 118 mid. But now that we're actually getting a little bit more into it, the bike is beginning to feel a bit more natural. I'm not trying to brake like I was with the Moto 2 bikes. Feels really natural. I'm very much enjoying this. I sincerely hope you guys are as well. If you are, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. And alternatively, if you do want to join the DrAce Discord server to be part of the Ace Academy Championships, then you can do so with the description down below. And before I continue, I'd like to just give a quick mention to Sergio23 for yet again another wonderful helmet design. I think I used that with Aprilia as well, but any moment I can show some appreciation to the Belgian ace for his work, I certainly will. So into the corkscrew. Be patient this time. I wasn't patient. I was not patient. I didn't heed my own advice. That's cost me time. It was going to be a 117 then. On lap 10, we still might. But we need 89,000 of a second. And that's not a lot of time, is it? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful apex to turn 12, turn 11 there. I've used the ride height device. Why have I done that? Oh, and this exact same lap time. I did the identical lap time and this lap's invalid. Oh, that's silly. That's silly. Why did I press that? Why on earth did I hit the ride height device there? That was pure instinct. Well, maybe not instinct, just pure autopilot. I just didn't even pay attention to that then. What a completely useless idea that was. Surprisingly enough though, we're actually only down by 1/10.5, but we did invalidate the lap as I tried to remove the ride height device. It's definitely not a circuit you want to be using the ride height device, honestly. I would say you could use it from turn 3 to turn 4, but that's probably it. I wouldn't recommend it anywhere around this circuit, I really wouldn't. Really late on the brakes here, goodness me. It feels so loose going in there. You have to really trust the bike. Put your faith into the Honda and just say, you're going to get it stopped, aren't you? You're going to get it stopped. We managed to do it there. A little bit of a negative lap time coming in here as well. 0.6 of a second lost on lap number 11. And the beauty of Laguna Seca as well, of course, because the lap times are so short, you can blast around this circuit and you don't realise how quick the lap times are getting chalked off. Ooh, I almost rushed off the circuit again. That was close, wasn't it? You cannot afford to even get a wheel off the circuit in the time trials in MotoGP 24. We're actually finding time here. Turn it into the apex of turn 4, keep it in, get onto the power. Just trying to balance that throttle there. I can feel the rear tyre beginning to spin. We're on something here. We're absolutely on it. 0.2 of a second we found. Got caught into the curb a little bit there. That's actually a negative on the sector. Goodness me. How did we have green on the delta yet it was still negative on the sector time? We must have done a really solid sector on a previous lap. Oh, I wasn't that confident. Ah, I turned in too early again. Oh, it's just eluding us here, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to give a quick shout out to 100k Blade. I read his comment the other day that said he would want to see 100 laps of the Circuit of Americas. And I didn't stutter there. That's 100 laps, which I think would be around 2.5 hours, or yeah, something like that, around COTA. He is absolutely mad. If that trend continues and he asks for it more, then I'm going to have to deal with it. But to be honest, I don't know if I could do 2 hours of COTA. That would be ridiculous. Would you even watch 2 hours of COTA, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know in the comment section down below. Red Bull gives you wings. I'll have to need more than that for a video like that. I really would. I need a sponsor. Anyway, onto the power. Braking at the TSO sign. I'm a little bit disgruntled that my lap times have come backwards. We're going backwards. We're going higher to the 119s than we were to the 117s. And yet every 2 sectors we're right on it. That's invalidated again. That small wheelie from the Honda. Gotta say, those wheelies are just a pain in the backside, aren't they? They do it so often, this bike. It's not too bad with the likes of the Ducati, the Yamaha, the KTM. Aprilia isn't too bad either. But the Honda is absolutely wheelie mad. It's wheelie mad. Really wheelie mad. Wow, saying that too many times fast. 0.2 of a second down then, across the line. So we've got a bit of a gap here. Ooh. You have to be brave there to go into the Andretti hairpin with such speed. We have time on the delta. If we lose it around turn 7, then I don't know if I can catch back up. I did a stellar job earlier on in that lap. It was really solid around the corkscrew, but for the rest of the circuit, we can seem to catch up. Now into left-hand. Oh, I downshifted. Oh, okay. I downshifted to first gear there by mistake, but that seems to have paid off quite nicely. We found 2.5 of a second, ladies and gentlemen. 0.2 of a second. Oh, it's just gone. It disappeared in an instant. Oh, I can't look at that now. I've got to focus on this. Oh my god. Oh my god. That bloody corkscrew. One of the best corners in the world, and I keep mucking it up. What's going on? How is the 117 not approached me yet? We're still missing out by 89 thousandth of a second. Well, I'm not ending this video till I get that. I don't know how many more laps it'll take, but you better believe I'm getting the 117. It doesn't seem unbelievable either. Oh my god, I've just cut the apex again. That's my third invalidated lap in a row. You can tell we're pushing now, you can. These little bits of extra pushing now with the brakes as well as we've just dropped the front. Whoa, that went fast. My goodness, that disappeared on me in an instant. I could feel the vibration was increasing and then it absolutely dropped. I feel exactly like Joan Mir and Marc Marquez from last season. That bike went without warning. I found the limit, so let's just go for it now. We've got, I don't know, a couple 5 more laps or so. Let's see if we can get it before we get to lap 20. Here in Laguna Seca. 0.2 of a second found in the first split. Tight to the apex of the Andretti hairpin. Please don't crash again. I don't like crashing. It uneases me. It unsettles me. But now I've found the rhythm. I found that limit. Bit wide. It's okay. Right, this is exactly where we were a moment ago. Caught on the curb there. That's going to cost me time. I don't know where we've found that time there because it didn't feel like it did anything particularly special, but we found 3.5 tenths. Oh, that's way too tight. Oh my god, it paid off. It paid off. Is it enough? Brake at the TSO sign. Careful. Turning in. Be patient here. We have to be patient on the turn-in. Did it pay off? Oh, I tell you what, I think it is. Where did this come from? 0.5 of a second is in our back pocket here. As long as we don't absolutely balls this up into the final corner, I think we've done it. Oh, I braked way too early there. I think we're good. Oh, yes! We're going to be good! I really messed it up into that final sector, but there you go, guys and girls. The 117 has finally arrived to your content creator today. Well, I will confess that was quite exhausting, and it's absolutely red hot here in England at the moment, so I'm sweating to get that one, and I'm pleased. A 117.6. So we did lose 0.1 of a second in that final, well, in fact, we lost 0.2 of a second in that final corner. But I did panic a little bit, I won't lie. But I'm glad I've got the 117. I'm happy with that. Guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. DrAce signing out, saying ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.